How we doing, guys? Welcome back to the Engineered Muscle YouTube channel. And before we get stuck into today's video, make sure to drop the channel and subscribe, and also hit the like button, run up that algorithm. All right, it's me again. We're back. I'm back for a push day. Same session I did the last time. So I won't bore you too much with the details of the session, but I'm just going to run you through how I'm feeling, where I'm at. I'm now approaching 9 weeks out. So things are heating up, guys. I'm a lot leaner this time around than the last time you would have seen me. So we might do a little bit of posing post-workout today. I reckon I'm feeling a little bit more confident than I did in the last video. So we get stuck into today's session, guys. Guys will follow me around and see what's happening. In the space of 2 days, it's suddenly summer in the UK. And I got this big massive fan blowing on me now that it's above 10 degrees. So it's going right up my shorts here. Very distracting as I'm trying to warm up. So I hit a new low weigh-in, guys, for prep this morning, 107.9 kg. So down into the 107s. I just have about 9 kg, 9.5 kg left to pull. And we'll be there at the cap. Now, consideration for me on this main press today is, the last time I did this session, I was 2 pounds heavier. Now, last week I matched reps on this, and I'd be quite happy to match reps on this again today because I'm so much lighter. So when we think about the logbook as we go through prep, guys, especially on your pressing, you might think you're losing numbers or you're not making any more progress. But to me, if I can drop body weight, drop body fat, and I can hold on to numbers on a heavy press like this, that is progression. I'll take that all day. So it's not necessarily just adding load, it's keeping load, being lighter. It's almost like reverse logbook, but it's your body fat levels. You get me? Makes complete sense. Think about it. So Gaz was just asking me there off camera about my body weight and how it was a little bit sticky the last time I was in to record. And it took a while to kind of move. But I actually looked back at all my data for my previous prep, and my rate of loss per week, this prep around, is actually 0.05 kg more than it was like last year. So I'm losing body fat at the exact same pace, if not a little bit quicker. My only issue is I'm 6 kg heavier. So I have more to lose and I have less of a time frame to lose it in. So I really need to pick up the pace from here, but it is moving a little bit more. And one of the good things about open bodybuilding is that you don't have a weight cap. With classic physique, having to make that weight cap, it adds a whole other element to the process. Something I didn't really have to worry about too much last year, but this year I am going to have to be very mindful of it. And it's a balancing act, right? You can't push too hard or you're just going to completely lose your physique, lose all your strengths, but you still have to push to get to that cap. Otherwise, you're not competing in classic physique, right? So it's going to be an interesting one for me this year, but things are moving a little bit more, guys. And anytime I do hop back on cycle anyway, for those first couple of weeks, my body weight holds a little bit more because I'm kind of recomping. Now I'm back on cycle 8-9 weeks. Things are starting to shift a little bit more. And I know from here, it's going to be more consistent, larger drops, hopefully. Oh, yes. Whew. Actually got a rep up there today, guys. Spoke too soon. Should have never doubted myself. And that's with a slight little shoulder niggle / injury as well, but I won't speak about that because I do too much complaining about my injuries anytime I'm ever recording. Lovely stuff. I normally don't warm up too much on this second press. I literally just touch 1 or 2 loads just to get a feel for it, gauge how heavy it's going to be, and then attack my top set from there. So this piece as well, I have actually matched this twice in a row now on my 2 previous sessions as well. But today, based off how the top set went on that press beforehand, I'm hoping I'm finally going to get that rep up. And I think when it comes to your training, guys, one very important thing you have to understand is that if you match numbers for a week or 2, it does not mean that you've stalled. It doesn't mean you've plateaued. And it certainly doesn't mean that you need to change that exercise out for something new. If you're stuck for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that's okay. Eventually you will get that rep up. And when you do get that rep up, that is new muscle tissue that you have built. That is moving that load. So after a couple of weeks of doing exercise, guys, it's going to get more difficult to progress. But those progressions, they're the ones that matter. They're the ones that are worth it, and they're the ones that are going to really build and change your physique. So stop giving up easy, stop looking for novelty, stop looking for the quick wins from just neurological adaptations to new novel movement patterns. That's not what truly builds tissue. Gritting your teeth and finally getting that rep up after weeks and weeks and weeks of hitting that wall, that's what's going to build tissue. Oh! Oh, yes! Oh, that feels good now. 4th time lucky. Last rep moved a bit slow, but well counter. I locked it out. What do you reckon, guys? Got there? I got there, I reckon. Take a nice bit of a break now on this. I'm very guilty of rushing, so just relax now. 2 good sets done already. Want to make sure my 3rd set of pressing is just as good, especially on prep as well. Calories a little bit lower in a heavy deficit. You arguably need a little bit longer of a rest in between your sets. I find that on peak off season, loads of food, loads of carbs in my intra, I can just power through my sessions a hell of a lot quicker. But I definitely have to conserve my energy and rest a little bit more when I'm on prep. Not conserve my energy, but make sure I'm well recovered going into that 2nd back off set. That's our pressing wrapped up. Back onto flies now. We did 1 set to prime and just 1 set now to just fry the chest, finish it off. So I will go a hell of a lot lighter on this set here, but it always tortures my pecs towards the very end. Lovely stuff. One set of dips there, just to finish off the chest, fryer. Now we move on to lateral raises and triceps. Lovely. That's actually grand, thank fuck. Yeah. Two caps of this today, guys, with my turbo pump. Tremendous. Just enough stim from the caffeine, 125 milligrams, to give me that little bit of a boost midday. Loads of ingredients in there for focus, and then the pump alongside turbo pump. Absolutely perfect pre-workout for me. I don't like heavy stim. I don't like heavy crashes. I like actually being able to eat my post-workout meal when I go home, and I like to get to sleep early at night. So the Evo Charged from EvoCore and Engineered, the collab, this has been absolutely tremendous. 2 caps of this in the morning with my black coffee before I start my check-ins, 2 caps before the gym. And that is all you need, guys, to make sure you're fully dialed in while you're working, you're fully dialed in during your training. I actually feel mega after that, like really, really good. So it's on par with me, or for me, with the turbo drive. I do quite like the turbo drive, probably a little bit more for work in the morning. But this, I think, is great pre-workout because I can just take capsules and it's not any extra liquid or any volume in the stomach or anything like that. Best thing about it, guys, is you can take 1, 2, 3, or 4 caps. You can dose it however you want, or you can even take 6 caps if you really wanted to blow your tits off. But 2 caps for me, absolutely perfect. Oh.
Pressure this year?
There certainly is a little bit of pressure this year. I think last year I had 0 expectations. I thought I was going to be much further off the mark than I actually was. I think because I had no expectations, it was a very stress-free prep. I rocked on, I did really well, a lot better than I anticipated doing. So now this year, that's the standard, right? It's the benchmark. I won an overall last year. That's my minimum expectation this year, is that I defend my regional title in Ireland. And then after that, I'm able to go on and I'm able to place higher than top 3 in a pro qualifier lineup. So obviously my goal this year is to turn pro. I'm under no illusions that's going to be a very difficult task and a big ask, but that is my goal. Now, it's not my expectation. I think that's one very important thing to realize, guys. When I say on this channel or in my own channel, my goal this year is to turn pro, it doesn't mean I expect to turn pro. I think that's what people get twisted, right? People will look at you and they'll give you hate and, oh, you're not going to be a pro and you don't have the physique and blah, 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 right? Do I think I can turn pro? Yes, I do. Do I expect that to happen? No. I don't have that expectation, but that is my goal. Because if it wasn't my goal, would I do all the things on a daily basis necessary to achieve that goal? Probably not. So I have to have the goal to turn pro because that makes me work towards being the sort of person and executing like the athlete who does turn pro. So going into this season, going into this year, I am under pressure in a way because I have to do better than I did last year. And doing better than I did last year, it basically almost means winning that pro card, right? Because that's the next step up from the accomplishments that I achieved last year. Whether it'll happen or not, we don't know, but we're gonna have to stay tuned and find out. So yeah, long story short, yes, there is a little bit of pressure, but the CBUM says pressure is a privilege, isn't it? You need that little bit of pressure. I think it can be healthy, but you just can't let it consume you. And I think what I mentioned there with goals and expectations, that's important. There's pressure this year for me in a way to turn pro because turning pro is me doing better than last year. The step up for me this year is to turn pro. But if I expect that to happen, it's going to crush me, right? If I go into the first show and it doesn't happen, oh, my season's over, I'm never going to make it, I'm never going to be pro, etc. You got to be more mentally resilient than that, especially in bodybuilding, guys. Not often does it happen that people just turn pro in their first try. You know, a lot of guys are going from show to show, line up to line up. getting that opportunity to win that card. You just don't know who's going to show up on the day. There's loads of really good guys out there. I'm sure I'm better than loads of guys, but I'm sure there's twice as many guys who are better than me who can turn pro this year. That's bodybuilding. So there's pressure and there's a little bit of an expectation, but at the same time, I'm very self-aware that I can only do what's within my control this year to put myself in the best position, and everything else is just completely outside of my hands. So, bit of pressure, yes, but not a crippling pressure, I would say. So that is the intra-workout down the hatch, guys. I normally finish this about halfway towards the end of my session, just to make sure I'm getting a hit of carbohydrates and some EAAs in there. So in the bottle, we did have 40 grams of engineered carb drive for our intra-carbs cluster dextrin. We got 15 grams of the mutant EAAs. Unbelievable, I'm using the Rocket Pop flavor here. We stock those on the Engineered Muscle website. I've also got 10 grams of creatine, 10 grams of glutamine for hydration and gut health, and 5 grams of glycine in there, plus 2.5 grams of taurine. Make sure I'm not cramping up during my session, especially now that I'm on prep and I'm using some stimulants. So that's what's in the intro, guys. You can pick it all up in the Engineered Muscle website, and this just makes sure I'm topping myself up during my session. Code DMAC10 to make sure you're stocked up on your intro workout. Whew. That's a wrap for today's push day, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Do a little bit of posing now, show you how the rig is looking at 9.5 weeks out, 107.9 kg.